Hello everyone, welcome back to What's Cooking Tonight. And today we are going to do a brisket point and we're going to make some burnt ends out of them. So the last time I got a brisket here, I got a full brisket, from the grocery store. So I've already done the flat, I cut, the point out separately, and I've got that seasoned up already. We pre-seasoned it last night. So I'll go ahead and unwrap this just so you can see it. Oh yeah, it's looking good. So, typical spices, salt, pepper, that's it. Some people put some garlic salt on there, I didn't do that today. So just salt and pepper. So we're gonna put this on the smoker at 250 degrees, might be 7 or 8 hours, and total cook time. About halfway through we're gonna take it off, cut it into chunks, and then put it in some beef broth and barbecue sauce. So we'll get this guy out in the smoker in a sec once it's up to temp, and we will see you then. Alright guys, our charcoal is ready to put in the smoker, so I'm going to go ahead and dump the charcoal out of our charcoal chimney, and we're going to put some pecan wood and some cherry wood on it. So I'm going to grab that charcoal and pour it in. Alright, we got one big chunk of cherry I'm going to put on. Right there. And then we got 3 smaller chunks of pecan. There we go. Let's go ahead and start assembling this. Alright, let's back us out here, get a better view. Man, bad camera work today. Alright, we got our top on. Let's seal that guy up. Alright, so we're going to wait for this guy to get up to 250, and then we're going to get our brisket point, and we will get it on the smoker. See you in a minute. Alright guys, the smoker is at temp. We're just above 250, so I'm going to take the lid off here and get our brisket point on there. Go. Looks good to me. Make sure this is nice and flattened out. Nice. Let's move that probe a little. There we go. Alright, so we're going to do this at 250 for about 4 hours at first. Then we're going to put it in the broth and barbecue mix. So we will see you in about 4 hours. Alright guys, it has been 4 hours and we are ready to take the brisket point off the smoker here. So let's do my favorite part, the reveal, and see how it's looking. Looking pretty good. We're getting that good burgundy color. It's got a good bark. Let's get this guy off, and then we are going to get it in our broth mix and then put it back on. Let's try and get a close up here without dropping it. Yeah, looking pretty good. Alright, so we'll take this inside in a sec and I'll show you the broth mix we're going to put it in. Alright, we brought the brisket in. We're just going to do a mix of beef broth and then a little bit of barbecue sauce. And we're going to put it in that metal pan to the side there. And then we're going to put the brisket in there and put it back in the smoker. So let me just do maybe almost 2 cups here of beef broth. Maybe I'll do like 1.5. Don't need too much, just need to cover the bottom of the pan a little bit. So let's bring the pan in here. Get that better angle. There we go. Let's see. I'm gonna do a little bit more than that because that doesn't look like quite enough to me. I'll probably just use the rest of this. Yeah, there's barely any left. There we go. So probably about 2 cups, maybe a little bit more right there. And then you just mix in a little bit of barbecue here. This is like a little more than a 1/4 cup. Get a spoon. It's just going to give it a little more flavor, a little sweetness. Alright, so let's mix this around a little bit, and then that'll break down more as it heats up. Stir this up. We're going to put our brisket in. It's going to fit perfect. And then we will cover this guy up and put it back in the smoker. So we'll be back in a second. Alright, we got our aluminum foil pan covered up, and we're just going to put this brisket on for maybe about 3 more hours. And then after that, we're going to douse it with a little bit more barbecue sauce on the top just to get a nice caramelized like crispiness. So let's put this back on the smoker. Just like that. And we'll give this guy about 3 hours, and then we'll cut it up into our burnt end pieces, which will just be like little 1-inch chunks. And then we'll put them back in the foil here and let them cook a little bit longer with the top off to crisp it up. We'll see you then. Alright guys, we're going to do a check here to see how tender and see what temp this is at. It's been about maybe 7 hours or so this has been on there total. Let's check it out. Ooh, looks pretty good in my view. Let me get you a zoom in there. It's steaming, right? It's a little cold out here, so there we go. So we're not really worried about temp. I mean, we are to a degree, but I want to see how tender it is too. Ooh, we're almost there. I mean, we're at about 210, 205, 207. Alright, I'm going to say this is good to take off. We're going to cut these up into little cubes. We're going to put them back in this broth with some barbecue on top. That'll give it a nice little outer char. Alright guys, here is the brisket point. We took it out of the broth here over in the pan. We're going to cut it into like 1-inch cubes, and then we're going to kind of put it back in the pan here, put a little bit of barbecue sauce on top, and get like a nice caramelization on the edge here. So let me try and get some decent cuts here for a 1-inch chunk. Yeah, it's looking good. Good smoke ring. Get this last piece without cutting my fingers, that would be nice. There we go. We'll give you a quick peek at the smoke ring. It's looking good. That's our pecan and our cherry. Not bad. And now we'll just kind of get the edges here. I'll be able to get all these at once, so we'll split them up. get some of these bigger pieces so that they're actually closer to an inch. Need a bigger kitchen. Not enough room.
Here.
Alright, that's looking pretty good. Let's get these last two pieces. They're kind of big. There we go. So we're going to take these. We're going to sneak a taste test here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them right back in this broth. So I'm going to slide this in the view here. There we go. Then we're just going to get these in here, and we're going to kind of top it with some barbecue sauce. Trying to get it so the top's still on top, but it's a little difficult when you have all these pieces.
You need that much fluid, or should you drain some?
Yeah, we might drain a little bit of this fluid. I was thinking the same thing. So let's take a pause here. We'll drain a little bit of this fluid and then we'll come back. Alright, we drained a little bit of that fluid so that it's not like floating in there. This will be perfect. It'll be still enough to absorb. And we'll get some barbecue sauce on top when we're done here. And you put it on the smoker for about maybe 20 more minutes or so just to get a nice caramelization on the outside here. It's looking pretty good. Alright, great. And I'm going to pause real quick because I got to get my barbecue and my brush ready for the barbecue. We'll be right back. Alright, we are back with the barbecue sauce, so I'm just going to take like a little bit of barbecue sauce here, use this little brush, and we're just going to paint a little bit on top so that this gets nice and caramelized and has a good crisp. Alright, I think I covered it all right there. Yep, it's looking good to me. So we're going to put it back in the smoker, like I said, about 20 minutes. We're going to leave the top of the foil off so that this can get exposed, you know, to some more heat. And after that, we will show you the final product. Alright guys, we got the burnt ends off the smoker. Here's the final product here. Looking really good. Took about 7 hours. We put them on about 1 p.m. It's 8 p.m. right now. So 7 hours total, not too bad. Let me do a quick taste test here. Look at that guy, looking pretty good. Alright, we're going to call that a success. That is burnt ends on the Fornetto Basso.